Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something quite interesting since G.Skill released, I would say a couple of months ago, their AIO. And right here we have the G.Skill ENKI 360, which is quite interesting. You have the RGB block top, which kind of looks cool, and you have, of course, three 120mm fan. But what are the main specifications, features, and all the information that you need to know? And of course, later on, we're going to get to benchmarks and temperatures according to everything that I do and test out. So let's start with the unboxing and what you get inside this box. I do have to mention that this is the first time that I encountered this kind of packaging for an AIO. It's not a cardboard box, it's basically all styrofoam, so quite cool and something different, and when it comes to packaging, quite interesting. You get two, let's say, booklets. One is warranty guide and one is quick start guide. So this could be quite handy when you're basically placing the AIO if it's your first time, to know how to place it inside your PC. Now, of course, as I stated, you have three fans. These are 500 to 2100 RPM fans, which are non-RGB. They have rubber pads on each side for placements, so you don't have to worry about some extra noise by vibrations, and you will be quite alright with it. The connection is 4-pin PWM, so this is really cool. So you can regulate the speeds, or your motherboard can regulate the speeds according to your temperature on your CPU. Additionally to that, of course, you have two more fans. So this is basically what you get with the 360 AIO. Now here we have another box inside, which contains all the necessary screws for your fans, screws for your radiator mounting, and of course the locking nuts and the stands, basically backplate for the sockets, different types of sockets. Actually, you only have one for your Intel socket. You use stock one that you get with your motherboard for your AM4. You also have the Threadripper locking nuts and mechanism to place it on your Threadripper. You have the AMD set, and this is all Intel, so you have the 115X, which stands for 1151, 1155, and all the others, 1200, and 2011 and 2066. So this is all you get, and these is basically standoffs, screws, as I already stated, for the fans and for the radiator, and of course you get G.Skill thermal paste. So this, we will get to that later on. Let's check out the radiator and the pump and the block design, how it looks. So the radiator is standard dimensions, I would say. The thickness is 27 millimeters, the length is 394, and the height is 120 millimeters, which is kind of, I would say, standard dimensions, and you don't have to worry about it. The pump block already has pre-mountings for your AMD socket, so you don't have to worry about it. Unless you're going with Intel, then you just have to change it up. And also you have pre-applied thermal paste. So apart from the last time I stated that EK Waterblocks was basically the only one having additional thermal paste, G.Skill does it as well. So you have pre-applied and you have additional thermal paste as well. This is really cool because after some time you do need to change it up. From the CPU block you get two cables that are going out. One is 3-pin 5 volts ARGB header, and the other one is 4-pin PWM for basically for the power of the pump and for the speed, so you can adjust everything. So there is no SATA connectivity, Molex, or anything that gives you power. It gets the power from the 4-pin PWM. So let's start with some technical specification. Comparing to some other radiators that I encountered, it has a higher density of the radiator pipes, which is of course much better for your cooling. You have 9-blade hydro bearing fans, which is outstanding when it comes to fans, but we will check out that as well. You have the 8mm inner diameter of the pipes for higher flow rate. Server grade low heat resistance thermal paste, which is also, as I said, pre-applied, and additionally in the tube you have high density micro fin design in the inner part of the block, and the bottom part that touches your IHS of the processor is convex copper cold plate, so that is outstanding. Some other specifications that are really needed: the pump speed is 5000 RPMs. The water block dimension is 5.7 times 5.7 times 3.9 centimeters, and the tube length is 420 millimeters. Tubing material is ultra low evaporation rubber with nylon braided sleeve, which look outstanding. I do have to say, I encountered a couple of AIOs that actually have some strange bumps on it. I don't know for what reason, but these look outstanding, and I do have to admit that. Radiator material is aluminum. You have 5-year limited warranty. As for the sockets, as I already stated, it covers all Intel sockets and all AMD, even though it doesn't say on the box that it supports Threadripper, but with the bracket on the side it does. And the fans, you get 3 fans, 120 to 120 times 25. So when you combine the thickness of the radiator and the fans, you get 5.2 centimeters of thickness. So you can count now if you have enough space, if you have high profile RAMs, or the front does your power supply shroud have enough, is distance from the front panel enough so you can place both of them, and similar things. Now the speed of the fan is maximum of 2100 RPMs plus minus 10%. The airflow is from 23.6 to 93.5 CFM. Decibel noise is from 15.3 to 29.6 decibels. You have hydro bearings. It uses DC 12 volts with power consumption of 2.76 watts, and the connector is 4-pin PWM. So I'm quite curious how this AIO works. I'm going to place it in a build and check out the thermals of the processor. Okay guys, so G.Skill ENKI 360 actually does perform quite well, and testing it inside Be Quiet Silent Base 802, we can actually compare it to the Be Quiet Pure Loop 360. So both 360 radiators, same placement, everything is the same, even the processor, so AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, and with closed panels on front and top we get around 72 Celsius degrees. But placing the standard meshed and more airflow friendly, I would say, panels, we get 68 to 69 Celsius degrees, which is outstanding on this type of a processor, and I would say that ENKI does perform quite well. Of course, there are possibilities with this case where you could pump up the speeds and the RPMs of the fans and get at least 1 to 2 Celsius lower, but I would say in standard position and standard RPMs, the fans that you want to hold them on some, I would say, low decibel noise level is quite alright. So guys, I mean, 69 Celsius degrees on AMD Ryzen 9 5900X at full load, going extremely on a high frequency, and the ENKI does really great job. Unfortunately, we don't have the exact name of the pump inside this AIO, and this is I think this is something that they used differently than others. So I think they really did a quite nice job with the AIO. The only thing that I would say is the brackets, they should have been a bit more differently just for the aesthetics, but then again, I think in the future this is a great start. I would say definitely a great start in the AIO department. And in the future, I think their design should revolve more on their G.Skill Trident Z RAMs, and that would be for everyone quite an enjoyment to have inside their builds, especially for you guys that have Trident Z inside and want an AIO cooling. This would be I would say a quite nice catch. So guys, I'm placing the links for the 360 radiator AIO in the description below, so you can check out the prices. And don't forget, of course, to do the part that makes the YouTube algorithm play a bit in my favor. Leave a comment, press the thumbs up button, and of course subscribe for future content. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.